Welcome. No, I'm
just cold open. Do it, you coward.
Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 265 of Born to be Wild, a wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun, hanging out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host, ElectricSheepCity. It's great to be back on this wonderful Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I am joined by fellow hosts, Hydralisk.
Yo.
And Schmoopiedady.
Hello.
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs, and the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. However you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
Content plug. Schmoopiedady. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some free emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime. Sorry, I used free too many times in there. Finally, if you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels on the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. And finally, if you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about Wild Hearthstone. Links to all of this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found at our website, which is borntobewildhs.com. Sheep, how was your week?
It was all right. It was a really long work week. So, didn't have a whole lot of energy at home at night, but I will say I've played a decent amount of XL Shredded Seedlock and did hit Legend in our that there format of Hearthstone. Wild Hearthstone, that is, of course. Yeah.
Shredded.
I've since being in Legend, I've played against KVLT 3 times, and I've got to say, the third time we're not counting because like he conceded on turn 2 or 3. And he said that the deck was terrible, and okay, we didn't really play a game. Let's be real. But we're 1-1 in games that actually count. So that feels pretty cool. Like I'm in the contest there. Also non-Hearthstone related, I started watching Pluribus. So that's the new Vince Gilligan. So the Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, the X-Files. It's like a new sci-fi show. So it's still, it's starring Rhea Seehorn, who was, I'm blanking on her character's name.
This show.
Yeah.
It's got that like ridiculously short like teaser trailer, and you're like, "What is this?"
They explain it immediately. Like they go into it explaining the premise, but like they want it to be a mystery box. What the like general premise is for some reason, I don't know. But like they jump right into here's how it works. Kim, thank you. OBX1 bag. Kim and Better Call Saul. So great. She plays Carol and Pluribus, and it is, so far at least, I'm 2 episodes in. The 3rd episode came out today. I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet. so far it's incredible. So I mean, with the writing team behind it, I'm just so excited for even more of it. So Hydra, how has your week been, my friend?
Good. Thanks for asking, Sheep. I'm still listening to Sleeping Beauties by Owen King and Stephen King, which is interesting because when I mentioned this last week, I'd just gotten it out of the library and didn't really know too much about it. But like in Sleeping Beauty, where she falls asleep, Sleeping Beauties is not really a spoiler. There's basically the premise of it is there is like a global pandemic of women are falling asleep. And once you fall asleep, you don't wake up, basically. They don't know what to do. And that's the premise of the whole movie. And there's obviously these other weird forces and powers and weird things that are going on that are causing it. And there's all these characters, like Stephen King likes to build his world and all that stuff. And the main story takes place in a women's penitentiary. So it sounds like most of them are all just going to fall asleep eventually. But that's the premise of the book. It's super cool. Very much enjoying it. I finished week 3 of my new job. So that's cool. Which is nice. Got my first paycheck from this job today. That was also cool. I don't think they taxed me enough. I got to talk to them. Like I looked at it, I was like, this number is really nice, but it's way too big. Like, we gotta go back to the drawing board. I gotta go upstairs and talk to them. Because it's not right. But anyway,
but also if it's right, like holy moly, even more congratulations.
I suppose I was like, Tim the Toolman Taylor looking at it like, yeah. But yeah, so that was cool. I mentioned last week that I had a 2-week review that was going to happen on the following Monday, and that following Monday was this previous Monday. And so they gave me a score on different subjects, whatever. Like I used to do performance reviews for everybody else, so like I'm used to it. But I ended up getting a 23 out of 25 on my first performance review.
Nice.
And the only 2 docked points were literally the only. Yeah, they're too nice. They don't want to lose me. I don't know. The only 2 docked points were because of the design software that I'm not used to using, that I'm learning how to use. They're just like, we're gonna give you like a goal for the first quarter to improve your skills with this thing, and that's the reason why you don't have a perfect score. Other than that, the words they used are "you're killing it." So I was like,
nice.
We take those.
Yeah, like, we do.
Oh my gosh, because I was so afraid. I was so afraid to, getting a new job is scary, right? Like, so like we definitely take those. I was a little, I tried to block it out, like something stressful is coming up and you just decide not to think about it. I did that the entire weekend leading up to it, to the point where I actually kind of forgot about it.
Success.
Yeah. And it worked out really well. But yeah, so job going well. I had mentioned last week that I was playing Mafia 2, and I thought I was going to finish that weekend, and I realized that I had underestimated how long the game was because the first one was really short. So I didn't finish it, but now I'm almost. So next episode, I will be done. You could quote me on that one. Hopefully.
I will.
And then, Sheep, you mentioned a TV show, so I'm going to mention, I've been watching the Welcome to Derry. I don't know if you have been watching that show yet.
I got to watch the first one. I haven't gotten to see the second one yet. The first one was really good.
3? I've watched 3 episodes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Definitely enjoying it. So super cool. We'll catch up later when you watch more episodes. Schmoopiedady, have you watched any of Welcome to Derry?
What network is it on? I watch
HBO.
nothing except for I watch nothing except for like old Pokemon episodes and like Pokemon Horizons and Peppa Pig and like K-pop Demon Hunter was pretty good. Like I'm in like kid TV land. Like I don't get to watch anything.
Yeah, don't let your kids
season
watch
3 of
this
Super
show.
Kitties is pretty good so far, by the way.
Super Kitty.
Dun 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 dun.
And then
When there's chaos.
I want to be the very best. You mentioned Pokemon, right? No,
Yeah, we saw the episode where Brock says she can violate my rights. Like that's like a classic of like, wow, I forgot about that in the original.
Yeah, after watching the first episode, before it got into anything like that, I remembered that Brock existed, and we did not continue watching with the lamb quite yet.
Yeah, they had a tough time dialing in like exactly how age appropriate they wanted Pokemon to be in the very beginning, and like I don't know, it like some of the first episodes are kind of like the Indigo Plateau episodes are kind of dark, and like you compare them now, it's like yeah, wow, and there's like no like light or thought behind anyone's eyes. It's just like completely just like vacant expressions. Let's go. Like nothing, just pure positivity. Anyway, I'm hijacking.
No bye-bye Butterfree episodes now, for sure.
Yeah.
The only thing else I had left in my week was I don't remember the inspiration, but for some reason I was really bored. And I decided that I was going to try to climb with Miracle Rogue. And it's working. Right? Like, not like heavily working. I only have a 53% win rate with it, with like 30 some odd games or something like that. But it works. And what I find is it's pretty fast, right? So I like decks that like it works or it doesn't. And then you can leave if it didn't work. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. So like it's working and I'm climbing with it. So I might just continue to, I don't believe it's on the top of some sort of tier list right now, but it's okay.
No.
It's okay. It's winning games. Schmoopiedady, I would like your comments.
Oh no, it's sad that Disco is getting nerfed because I think it used to feed very nicely on Discard Warlock and have like a nice shelf at tier 2 where it was very playable and doing very well and had a very winnable matchup. And now since Disco is nerfed and we expect the play rate to go down, if stuff gets more combo-y or more pile-y, you might want a list that's using either Speaker Stomper or Cult Neophyte or something like that. I don't know.
It looks right now, if I look at my stats, that I only lost to Warlock once, and it may not have been Disco Lock, but I won every single time against Priest, and I won almost every single time against Warlock. So there we go. Anyway, it's fun.
Nice.
I like it. I like doing things that are fast and big. So anyway, that's basically been my week. Schmoopiedady, how was your week?
I don't remember. Like, I just, like, I don't, like, we recorded the pod. I know night happened at least 7 times. And then, like, now we're here. Like, it's like, I think I had report cards due at some point. I got those in. That's good. I just, like, this week was so busy and it was such a blur. And right now we have a minor situation where, in picking up, my daughter from preschool at one point, my mother-in-law got into a fender bender, and so they're getting their car fixed now. And they only had one car, so, and they didn't, have it so that they could go get a rental. So like they're not, we gave them our second car. So like we're trying to like limp along with one car. and going to all these different places and trying to thread that together. And that's just like fast forwarding my week. It's like, all right, I got to drive for the here and then drive to here and then drop off mom and then go to here. But can't forget about mom and ours is who's going to be home for butt getting off of the bus. And like, so it's been a little stressful along those lines. So I don't really remember my week, but I was supposed to share that Schmoopie is progressing in Super Smash Brothers. He beat his mother twice tonight in the game 1-on-1. She plays Kirby and spams Brick.
Even. Yo,
yeah, she spams Kirby and spams Brick. So he probably could see through that at this point. He's been playing against me on Kirby, which is a much different proposition. We have played 99 lives stock before.
whoa.
And we played 99 lives, and then we also loaded up only bombs at high spawn rates. So like we're chucking bombs at each other and like motion sensors. I think I got him. I think I ended with like 67.
Only bombs are awesome.
Stock, I think. Like I absolutely creamed. He was pissed by the end of it. He was absolutely creamed him. But you know what? He's getting better. I tell him he's getting better. I think he's finally starting to
Schmoopie.
Yeah, I think he's finally starting to like hear that he's like see that he's getting better because he's beating his mom up. So
and I mean he did beat you 32 times.
He's very much like he's very much like a match for a level 9 computer. So like that's
Nice.
pretty good for 7 years old, having picked up the game a couple weeks ago. So nice job, Schmoopie. You're doing great. And it's not even like he just sits on the game either. Like he only plays like, half an hour, maybe. Like we're not like just letting him rot up here, just playing it over there. I think he'd get bored. Frequently he does get bored. As far as go ahead.
I'm gonna hijack your Schmoopie update with that to say that the Lamb has been wanting to watch Mario. So we've been playing. I've been playing, and he's been watching Super Mario 64.
Yay!
And he's been having so much fun with that. He loves the spooky house level. Yesterday we went through and got all but one of the stars from that one because we need the blue hat, and we just haven't gotten that yet. But he loves Halloween. He loves ghosts. So he also loves the snow level. He especially loves going down the slide and going off of it.
That's like the best
so that
part.
Mario goes wah, and then so
good.
he loves the wah.
He likes eating your lives. Got it.
And then right after he comes out, he goes Mamma Mia, which he also loves. So it's like both of those two in conjunction. So like, luckily, we're playing on the Switch, not on 64.
Right.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, he's much more, his vocabulary is like, oh yeah, snow level. I want to go to the snow level. Oh, go slide. Wow.
So can you pause and make a save state whenever you want?
Yes, I can. Yeah. That since I'm playing on the Switch, I'll we're just going to eat through multiple lives, and that's fine. I can just appear right back. No biggie. So he does not like the Bowser levels, but those do not last long, which is good. So getting up to Bowser, he doesn't have any issue with. It's Bowser himself,
Bowser.
And that
they gave him
encounter.
A scary laugh. They gave him a scary laugh for a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Schmoopie never finished Mario 64. I think he got up to the last levels. I think he got up to the Rainbow Ride and the clock level, and I think it was like the game got challenging, and he had to choose either to buckle down and really figure it out, or just move on and do something else. And he moved on and did something else, and he'll revisit it in a couple of years, and he'll be like, "Oh, sick," and then be able to do stuff, and I'll be like, "Oh, sick." He was already good at wall jumping, which I could not wall jump at 7 years old on an N64. I couldn't. So he's doing fine on that front.
I think I was 8 by the time I got good at wall jumping, but
no, not me.
My wall jumping came from Super Metroid.
Oh,
on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, that's a wall jumping game. If you ever want to play a wall jumping game, oh my gosh.
To be fair, too, most of the modern Marios allow you to wall jump. So it's already a skill he kind of built in previous episodes. Like Odyssey, it's like you can like basically everything. Or like the Super Mario Brothers. Like the new ones where we call it Kitty Cat Mario, whatever it's called. And I'm like, dude,
Tanduki, something like that.
Meow.
No, he's wearing like an actual kitty cat. Like you're like,
yeah.
Yeah. Not the like raccoon one, but the actual.
But regardless, I'm like Schmoopy, you should never lose a life. They let you like wall jump and stuff and like spin. Like this is ridiculous. Like this is like they're so forgiving with these things. He says, "Shut up, Dad." And like, but yeah, no, he's doing okay.
Did he say "Shut up, Dad"?
No, but like that was the vibe.
That's definitely the
vibe. I had a crazy run on stream with Astral Communion. Before we got the nerfs in, I was like, I was winning a couple games with it. I was trying it with wave shaping. Wave shaping is a stupid card. Wave shaping is just tracking for Druid, but Druid has tools to go get the other cards if you want them. So, like, we have aquatic form and things like that. So wave shaping is a great way to, like, it's yet another way to go cherry pick Astral Communion out of your deck. And so, like, I'm on stream, I'm winning a couple games, and people are like, no, keep doing it, keep doing it. I'm like, should I go for a Neon Tweet? They're like, yeah, go for a Neon Tweet. I won 8 in a row. I won 8 in a row.
Wow.
And then I lost one, and then I actually faced QB on Discard Warlock, who's the person whose Discard Warlock list I would literally quote, and high rolled the crap out of poor QB, and got myself in the top 200 with a 9-1 record. So I got that posted on Neon's website. On top of that, once I did that, I'm like, might as well strike while the iron is hot. I even did like a little YouTube video guide on how to play. And how to play Astral Communion Druid. And like, it's not complicated, right? Like it could be a very short guide if you wrote it down. It's like, find Astral Communion. But we do talk about, the importance and the mathematics of what, like, if you're really just hard mulliganing for one card, what's the likelihood that you find it? And by turn 4, you've got at least a 54% chance of finding Astral Communion just like naturally drawing after a hard mulligan. At least one copy in 30. That's a coin flip by turn 4. But we have things that are like, we have wave shaping, we have moonlit guidance, we have aquatic form, we have other ways where we can also dig. And so the odds are actually probably better. It's not an accident people can find it so easily. It actually has me a little bit concerned. I think it's not entirely unreasonable to expect in the next 12 months, let me put it on tape, the next 12 months we might see an Astral Communion Druid nerf. Like, it would not shock me in the least to see Astral Communion to 5, which would be incredibly funny. But it's getting so consistent, it's getting a little bit goofy. Yeah, we've got Fancy Grenade in chat, calls it, like, I refer to it as Big Brown Priest. As Brown Big Priest. Like, that's all it is. It's like, all you're doing is, like, you're just doing the Big Priest thing. And
it's
as soon
Big
as, like,
Priest, yeah.
Yeah, like, you can cast Astral Communion on 1 with a high roll if you're running Innervates. You can...
Which you definitely are.
You can pretty regularly cast it on 3. Casting it on 2 is not completely unheard of. And then if you're dropping a carrier on like your opponent's turn 3, like, I don't care what kind of deck it is, what are you going to do? I have some people, I've gotten so many questions since I did the deck where people are like, hey, what do you think about main deck Azalina? I'm like, why? It's like, it's anti-combo. I'm like, how? Like, what if they're an aggro deck and their hand is either empty or has a bunch of little cards that make no impact on the board? What if it's a control deck or a Reno deck and none of the yellow cards are yellow because your deck is duplicates? What if it's a combo deck and, like, think about like half the combo and they can dig for the other half the combo, but like you don't have those cards in your deck? Like, but I'm like, dude, just like, this isn't hard. Just drop a freaking beetle or a carrier.
Hearthstone Brew is the similar vibe to Azalina, and he's just way better, and you're running him.
No, just beat him up. Just beat him up. But really, the hardest part is actually the approach to casting Astral Communion and finding it, right? Like, so like if you take a subpar mulligan, I was watching the deck that KVLT conceded to you, Sheep, was Astral Communion Druid, because he'd gone through, he'd high rolled a bunch of opponents. And then he started to like draw the other half of the games where sometimes you don't get Astral Communion and sometimes you kind of have to dig for it.
It's a high rolling deck, really, right?
Yeah.
You got a high roll.
That's kind of why I like in my list Trail Mix, because you can Trail Mix into Guff. Right. You could cast Trail Mix on 2. You have Guff in hand. If you top deck Astral Communion, great. If not, you're casting Guff on 3. Oh no, I'm casting Guff on 3. Whatever will I do? Surely my big things will be unplayable for a long period of time. Now, like you can kind of dig games out. Those aren't the games that you'll beat aggro, but like you can dig games out in that scenario. And so I had a crazy run, and so I made a little guide. And I will say about my list, I think something that is interesting is looking at data that I think NHL fan shared. Ultimate Infestation looks very good. Like, and by very good, I mean like literally core. We should probably cut something from the deck to run 2 Ultimate Infestations, but I don't really like it because I don't feel like I can play anything after I Ultimate Infestate. And I don't know if dealing 5 and making a 5/5 and gaining 5 armor, I know it gets me the 5 cards. That's the powerful part. That's great. But
remember when that card was crazy broken?
Well, I mean, it might be crazy. I mean, the stats are saying that it's like it's like a full percentage point better than some of the minions. So it's probably one of the best cards in the deck, and I should probably be running 2 copies of it. I just don't. I probably won't. But I will probably mention every time I mention Astral Communion Druid, hey, find room for 2 UIs. But don't cut Saladrosil, because that's actually looks just as good as Ultimate Infestation, weirdly enough.
I wonder if Nourish is kind of a similar, like, you know, effect, but obviously much different price point, and you're only drawing 2. But, it has the ramp effect if you need it. You probably don't, but if you're drawing dead, maybe it's that kind of versatile card. Odds are mana is you're a druid. You've Astral Communion played Guff, right?
Yeah, I think it's more like you do want the life game, and the damage is sort of immaterial, but it can take out a board on a threat on board. I think it's more the draw and the armor. And yeah, I don't know. We gotta find some room for UIs. Elise looks mid. We can cut Elise, and we can cut something else and go from there. Not Ysera the Dreamer, but that's fine. Anyway, now I'm climbing EU, and I have a limited collection on EU. I'm free to play on there. So I was trying to run Burnlock, and I'm finding some unfavored matchups, and so I'm like, maybe I don't want to try and just like shove Burnlock in there and make it happen. I'm like 11-16 now. I had a streak of matchups where it was just like, this isn't really working out, and this isn't what I want to see. I don't want to see, control warlocks. I don't want to see things that can armor up and clear my board and out heal me. So I tried Elemental Mage for a couple matches. I won a couple matches, but I was like, this isn't really for me. So now I'm trying Mech Rogue. And we'll talk about Mech Rogue later, but I'm currently 7-1 on my attempts of Mech Rogue on EU in like top 100 MMR EU, because I basically hit at 43 and then camped. And so that's where I ended up. So I'm definitely feeling the wild queue, just sort of waiting, trying to get my way through Legend. But like we're doing okay. We're at Diamond 10. So like we're cooking along. And with 11X, I imagine once we get to Diamond 5, that should go pretty fast too from there. So that was my week. What's in the news? We had some news.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
Can confirm. So in the news, we had a big old patch 34.0.2. So the dev comment, which is always good to just kind of like contextualize things, but before we go in too deep, reads as follows. Well met. We've been loving the fresh decks and creative strategies you've been brewing with the new cards from across the timeways, like Logosh Warrior and Aura Paladin. Our goal with this balance update is to keep that spirit of experimentation alive by toning down a variety of cards that have long dominated the meta. Strong decks from the last expansion and influential cards like Fyrakk Rogue have shaped the playing field in big ways. I almost just said Fyrakk Rogue because that's where I'm used to seeing it. I digress. By adjusting these, we are opening the door for new ideas and strategies to succeed across all levels of play. We can't wait to see what you come up with next. So historically, and I think we're going to do this again tonight, we're going to skip past all the standard stuff and we'll come back to it. And we're going to start with the wild specific balance adjustments because we had some of those this go around. So let's zoop on down past a lot of stuff. Here we go.
Zoopin'.
The power level of these cards has been lowered. Holy Wrath. I'll say. Old.
Yikes.
You know what Holy Wrath did. 5 mana, draw a card, and deal damage equal to its cost. New? Oh, it's only 3 mana. This sounds like a buff. I thought they said lowered. Draw a card and deal damage equal to its cost. See, it's the same words. Oh, they added 3. To a minion.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate for a second. Is this the worst single target removal?
No. Maybe.
I mean, it's not.
Depends on your deck. It's not consistent.
It's not good. But it's not the worst. But it definitely doesn't do what it does anymore.
No.
Good.
Is there a way to still it'd be like way too hard?
Yeah, you can. You can silence it. You can silence Ash.
You can silence it. That's the thing. It's this. You can silence it, right?
So you Ash Tongue, Silas, and you've played a Holy Cowboy before.
If you only play against bots who like rub their face on the keyboard and don't actually play cards, yes, this is a combo that you can pull off.
Let's make it happen.
It's bad. It's been gutted. I love it. Goodbye, Holy Wrath Paladin.
I mean, it's had its time in the sun.
I've played some Holy Wrath Paladin. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so have I. Yeah.
But it was too powerful and it's been around for too long. And it's
gone back and forth with wording and like it's gone through the ringer. And I think they finally just went like nail in the coffin. You're done.
Schmoopie's being very quiet. That this is uncharacteristic.
No, I'm good. No. I'm not. I agree with everything else.
We're on a podcast. You're normally talkative. That's normal.
Yeah, letting you guys go.
This is good. This is great. This is wonderful. Maybe.
This is where this is basically where I'm happy it's gone. It was always kind of a frustrating play pattern for me, at least, where it felt like they, even though this wasn't necessarily the case, it felt like my opponent always had a much lower effort than I did to go and win the game versus what I was trying to do. Right. Versus what I was trying to do. And the reality is like, listen, you would shuffle your deck around, you'd order things, you'd space out your survival tools. Like there was definitely skill involved in the deck, but it felt so bad to face for that reason where it was just like, oh man, I've done everything. I'm going to win. No, I'm not. Cause it's Holy Wrath. They play 2 cards. I lose. Like, yeah, that always felt terrible.
I'd like to say that Solitaire doesn't mean it's a brain dead deck, right? Like Solitaire is still a game where you need to know what you're doing if you like to play Solitaire, right? So some people say Solitaire as a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You still need to know what you're doing.
Just not a very interactive play pattern, typically.
No.
That is true.
So we've also got a balance adjustment to Malchezaar's Imp. And this is a big one, but it is not completely gutted like Holy Wrath was. So Malchezaar's Imp was 1 mana, is now 2 mana. Same stats, 1/3, same effect. Whenever you discard a card, draw a card. I mean, it's double the mana and a fast deck that wants to continue to just like draw and combo that off with other things. But the card is not at all killed like Holy Wrath was. At least that's my initial assessment. It's a big one. Like it is double the mana it used to be, and they did not adjust the stats to compensate for that, nor should they have. So that's my take. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm going to go with a classic Blister Guy comment on this one. I haven't listened to his opinion on this yet, but when something goes from 1 to 2, like you said, Sheep, it is effectively doubling the cost. It's not something that went from 5 to 6.
Oh yeah, it's still big.
It's bad when something goes from 1 to 2. Like it's a lot bigger than a 5 to 6 or a 7 to 8, that kind of thing. It's double. It's a way bigger deal. I have not been the biggest disco lock player. You guys know that I've never really gravitate to like the most killer toxic sort of quote unquote toxic like deck in the format. That's something I don't like to do, and sometimes I will just to be able to talk about it on the show. So it's not something I've jammed as much as I probably should. I mean, I know there's people out there that have gotten hundreds and hundreds of wins by playing this deck. Sheep's slowly raising his hoof, but yeah,
the one that I played was much earlier, before Soul Barrage. That I got hundreds. I've still got dozens at least of the Soul Barrage, the current one. But
if I had to guess, this is gonna take like a tier 1 deck and drop it. But I think you could still play. I don't know how far down. Is it going to go all the way down to like a tier 4 deck? Maybe this 2 mana is that bad. I think it's still going to be playable. I'm curious to see what Schmoopiedady is going to say, but I like the deck still functions. But the fact that you could play a 1/3 on turn 1 and is hard to remove for a lot of decks, that's a big. It's way different than dropping it on turn 2 when someone's going to have an answer for it on their, turn 2, turn 3, that kind of thing, right? Like it doesn't, it's not as sticky at that point in time because they have way more mana to spend to get rid of it at that point. So there's a way higher chance that this gets removed from the board way easier because your opponent has more mana to deal with it. So it could make the deck garbo. It really could, but deck still functions. Schmoopiedady, what do you think?
Yeah, I played it yesterday. Deck definitely felt like it still functioned. Turn 1 is a nightmare now. Your best plays are basically Platasaur, maybe Kobold Librarian. If you're still running Kobold Librarian, you probably shouldn't be running Kobold Librarian anymore. That kind of looks like one of the cards that's kind of garbo in the list. I think the best way that I could kind of sum up this nerf is a response that I had that somebody actually screenshotted on Marchie's Discord. Sometimes when I respond to like YouTube comments, I have no idea if I'm like talking to the abyss or not. But somebody responded to my video because I made a video where it was basically putting discard Warlock and my newest version of Burnlock, or this generation Zoolock, sort of side by side, and played games of both of them. And I won 3 games with discard Warlock. Like it felt like a deck that you could still play. And somebody responded in a comment, it's almost like Malkimp wasn't the problem with a thinky face. And I don't always like agreeing with certain content creators, but J. Alexander once said that players don't want balance when they get nerfs. They want vengeance. And this is like a vengeance column.
That's true.
This is somebody who never wants to see a discard Warlock ever again. And it rubbed me the wrong way, which is why I responded, I don't know if I agree with that. The deck feels way clunkier, turns 1 and 2, which has a knock-on effect, which means it's going to possibly be way worse as people rediscover Pirate DH and other aggro options. Also worth noting, it's a good nerf if the deck style is still playable in some form. If you want Disco dead, sorry, this probably isn't it. But if this nerf makes Disco a low tier 2, tier 3 deck that doesn't limit aggro in the format, that's a great change. You don't have the early blowout turns that you used to have. Ripping Solarium on 1 into Coin Malkimp is not possible anymore. If you want to make that play, you have to wait until at least turn 2. Cursed Catacombs is not high rolling on turn 1 nearly as often now. It's making everything, it is jamming up everything about that early game of Disco. And if Disco doesn't have the early game rolling, I think you either have to reimagine how you build the deck a little bit. Like I, for one, would probably put in more of the Shreds cards and maybe less of like Tiny Knight. Like Tiny might suck. Like maybe we don't Tiny Knight anymore. Maybe we Sketch Artist. Maybe we do other stuff. I know some people look at Tiny Knight like, no, that's my scaling threat. But it's so much harder to set up and have and get value off of and make sure that you still have gas when Malkimp is removed.
Sorry, my brain just went down the Mana Worm nerf when it went from a 1 mana 1/3 to a 2 mana 1/3, which actually
quite analogous.
Sure. Or Void Touched. Void Touched Attendant's another like modern one that we look at and we say, oh, this is like the Void Touch nerf. But yeah, no, like this is gonna kick the deck down a bit. And so, like, if you are the Vengeance type and you want to see it less often, sure, you will see it less often. Yes, you will still lose a game to discard Warlock because, like, they don't want to delete the board-based aggro deck. I'm sorry, they don't. They have to tweak it. They'll tweak it. I think it's interesting when you listen to the comment. Did we read the comment? Because like I don't know. I know I've read it.
No, we haven't yet for the wild specific. Would you like to do the honors? Because that is a perfect
I don't have
segue.
called up. I don't have it called up, but we can.
Cool.
Right now.
So the dev comment reads as follows. We're making a few targeted adjustments to outliers in Wild. Holy Wrath has been part of Hearthstone since the very beginning, but its current level of consistency and burst damage goes beyond what we want for the format. As for Discard Warlock, it's a core strategy for the class and will continue to receive support, but we'll be keeping a close eye on it to ensure the cumulative impact of its cards don't push things too far.
I think that the fact that they said that Discard Warlock is going to continue to see support is a little view into the future, right? You know how sometimes they nerf things because stuff is coming. I'm not saying it's in the next set, but like, yeah, it's already a little ridiculous. It's up there, right? Some decks get to stay up there for a long time, and this one's been doing really well. And if they've got stuff in the future that's going to make this even crazier because they want to push this core strategy in Standard, and they may know that in Wild it's going to be even more insane than it possibly is. Like that's potential. I'm not saying that's true, but it's potential. Like if they're saying that this is a core strategy they're going to pursue.
Well, and I think to your point, the like strong cards that have discard as a, an actual drawback, and maybe, a couple of discard payoffs here and there, like, oh, if you discard this, that's even better, like Soul Barrage, etc. I think that, we've seen that consistently come and go. I think that that's kind of what they're talking about there, right? That we'll continue to see that same kind of pattern, right? We've had our Doom Guards, now we've had our Soul Barrages, like that kind of continues. the 1 mana draw engine as the payoff for that, it makes sense to hit that cumulative impact of its cards. We're going to continue discarding things, and we're going to continue wanting to have discarded certain other things. Having a one mana card to just churn things through, love it. That they doubled that to 2, like that they kept that snowball from starting as early. Like I think that's a eloquent nerf for that particular like glimpse into the future for that particular development pattern. Sorry, I kind of co-opted the end of yours, Hydra. Do you want to finish up any other final thoughts before we kick it over to Schmoopy for his thoughts as well?
No, I guess don't forget when this card was created, there were not a lot of payoffs for discarding, right? Like it was all the way back in One Night in Karazhan, right? Like
supposed to push it, really, if you think about it. Like it was kind of pushing that.
Mm-hmm.
The original Disco Lock didn't have a lot of like these payoffs like it does now. And I used to hate playing Doomguard because there was like no real payoff to other than you had a 5 attack charge. But yeah,
pretty good payoff.
Yes, but like at the time you just lost everything else in your hand, and that was about
there were no more discard advantages. I get you.
We didn't have those, right? And so it's just been building and building and building, and they've done so much with it. Even that weird legendary that no one plays anymore. Forgot about that one. The one that like resummons itself. What is that? Do you know the one that I'm talking about?
Oh, Jeklik? High Priestess Jeklik?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no one plays that card anymore. Anyway.
I love Jeklik. It's a fun card.
It's kind of buffed. It's like constantly kind of bugged, kind of buffed, and nobody plays it still. Like if it gets temporary, it used to have this bug where it would keep the temporary, and so like you would just get like infinitely repeating Jekliks in your hand.
I remember that.
You could never discard them fast enough. So eventually your hand was just full of Jekliks, which might not be the best way to win the game, but that was a thing you could do.
It sounds like you want this, but you do not. Like
you actually don't. You
actually really don't.
So final thoughts, Schmoopiedady.
Yeah, I think there are plenty of players that I know that would love to never see another discard card ever printed for Warlock ever again. Just like when the deck is good, it tends to really push out other aggro decks and limit variety in the format. Thinking back to before this deck was nerfed, other aggro decks we were seeing and playing, Call to Arms Paladin was top of the heap as far as board-based aggro strategies you could play. Pirate DH was very healthy and very strong. XL, Shagro, like XL Shadow Priest, was not the best deck anymore, but it was shifting more board-based, and it was sort of like Shagro. It was shifting more board-based, more mid-range in a really interesting. In a really interesting kind of like, wow, look at all the aggro. The aggro is all sort of shifting mid-range. And then Discord sort of came along and just kind of like squashed it. And we got lucky that the deck, the format itself stayed pretty diverse despite, getting pruned a lot in the aggro department. So I'd expect those types of decks to come back. I think we've got a new one in like a modern Zoolock and Burnlock that is fun to play and is like fairly strong. It can be streaky. I know I went through a bad streak when I was climbing with it on EU, and so like I'm off it right now, but like we've got some cool stuff that we can play that we don't have to worry about disco now. And so I would love it if they didn't, continue to print broken discard support. That'd be good for me, I think. Especially since they've already given us a Forever card in Cursed Catacombs. Like, if everything's going to be the same power level,
it's glorious.
As Cursed Catacombs, we're going to be stuck with it for a while.
Terrible.
But I have no problem. I have no problem with this nerf. I think this nerf is kind of the perfect nerf for this moment. because I think what people are going to realize is all of a sudden you can kind of get under this deck, or combo can race it, or control can kind of get their feet under them and then start clearing it. And like, it was already kind of fair into control where there's a lot of clears and a lot of life gain. I think I've said that on the program before. Like, I think it was already like there were ways you could kind of handle it. And I know some people were like, no, well, I play my greed pile and I don't have any removal before turn 6. And like, I get that. But you're still going to lose to this. But now I think if you're a little bit more, if you're a little bit more thoughtful about your removal and how you handle aggro in the early game, it's even more fair now. So like, I just see it as sort of death by 1,000 cuts. You're going to see a lot of, it's going to get pushed out from a lot of different directions and a lot of little different ways where it doesn't look like it's a big deal on the surface of it. It's going to play like a big deal though. The patterns of play felt very different to me yesterday. So those are that's my thoughts on this card.
Got to relearn the deck.
Wiser words have never been spoken. Well, coming back over to the standard side of things, the power level of these cards has been lowered. Fyrakk has gone from 9 mana to 10 mana. And
Did you ever diamond one yet?
I still do not. Nope.
Diamond? What?
Diamond.
Oh.
Nope.
Diamond?
Still do not. Nope.
That's
And now it's not even, I mean, I don't really want to play it in standard now anyway. I disenchanted both of my golden copies. Because
Understandable.
I had crafted it in gold before I bought the golden mini set. And so, then whenever I got the golden mini set, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to have the diamond. Nope. That 10,000 gold is still just gone for no reason. I digress. So from 9 to 10 mana, but also from cast 20 mana worth of fire spells at random enemies to 15 mana worth of fire spells at random enemies. So card was hit hard. Good.
It sucked in wild anyway.
In our format anyway. Yeah.
Hey, like if you were playing it at National Communion Druid, I swear you were throwing. Like half the time he's blowing up your deck, he's blowing up like your hand, whatever's left of your hand. He's drawing you into fatigue. He's casting Fires of Zinajara and turning your deck into 5-drops. He sucked. Like, just, this is saving you from yourself. Don't play this in Wild, please.
This is the way. Next up, we've got Ancient of Yore. So it's still 5 mana, 5/5, still dormant for 2 turns. Now, while you're dormant, you will gain 3 armor instead of 5 and draw a card at the end of your turn. So they decrease the amount of armor that you gain from 5 to 3 per turn. So you're still playing a 5 mana, gain 6 armor over 2 turns, draw 2 cards, and then at the end of it have a 5/5. So it's probably still worth
I don't know.
in standard. Are we playing it in our format anyway?
I think I would try. I was trying it in like Reno DK, and it felt okay there. But like, that's not a real deck.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I shouldn't besmirch it. That's not like a top tier deck that we're gonna be doing.
Fair. At the very least, for a while.
Reverted, which it will. There's no way they wouldn't. Like, this is such a obvious revert when it rotates. Then maybe we'll consider it. Maybe in like you said, like Reno pile.
It's fine in a Reno pile. Like it's good.
Yeah.
It's decent cycle. It's life gain.
Yeah.
It's great against Disco. It leaves a 5/5 behind that soaks up a Soul Barrage. Like this would have been it has not been a bad card.
No, it's not a bad card. And the funny thing is, I had mentioned this in the past. This is not a Hydra card. This is nowhere near a Hydra card because I'm a proactive player, and this is not a proactive card. And I've always like struggled as to when to play it, just because it's not in the type of decks that I like to play, right? And I don't like playing a card that does nothing, right? And yes, I know it does something. Woohoo! I get my armor. It happens. I get it.
There's a deck that at least before the nerf played it that you would probably like. Ray featured it on Walk to Work recently as well. Dormant Demon Hunter.
Yes, and I have played Dormant Demon Hunter. Yeah, it's there, and I play it when I have to because that's part of the deck. I'm here to poo-poo the amazing card that's being nerfed. It's not something that I like to play, right? So, and it's now made it more undesirable for me, and it's not because it was like a bad card. It's just because I would always struggle as to when to do the turn that doesn't do anything other than if I'm doing the dormant thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Understandable.
And that's just me, man. That's just me.
Yeah, buddy. Well, moving on then to Arcanite Defense Crystal.
That's not its new name. I think Schmoopiedady.
We're setting up Schmoopiedady for his joke because
Arcanite Defenseless Crystal? Yes, that's the card sucks now. Card is terrible. Holy cow. Incredible what they've done to it.
Old taunt, new, no longer has taunt. Still a 5 mana 4/5, still death rattle, gain 4 armor and starship piece.
They should have just said this card no longer has cheat.
So yeah, it's not a good card anymore.
Good. I hate this
in
card.
my humble opinion.
I'm not a big starship fan, even though like I love the whole StarCraft thing and space and all this stuff. The starships.
You're more of a Zerg guy.
Crazy. I am. How did you know that?
I absorbed it via osmosis.
You would.
There's a really fun priest deck that used to play this, Starship Priest, because in our format, what's kind of neat is you get the Arcanite Defense Crystal down, and you get it dead, and you bring it in, you launch your spaceship, and then they break the starship, whatever, and then you can revive the starship that you launched, and you can keep doing that over and over and over and over again. And very quietly, that deck was very, very good into Seedlock. So when Seedlock was like a tier 1 deck in the format, so like I would love for this to come back fully reverted, put it back to the normal mana cost, put it back to the usual stat line, give the boy back, because like in our format he's fine, right? In our format he's fine.
In our format,
but in standard,
yeah.
In standard, they're like, nah, man. And like in standard in general,
insanity was a problem.
In standard, I think in general they have a problem with too much life gain, too many board clears. Like healing is too easy, and from all that, like aggro gets marginalized. Games were never taking longer. I don't know since the nerfs if that's changed, but like the turn timer had never been longer, and people were like, no, this was slower in classic, and like, bro, classic, the game ended like turn 7 or 8, 9.
Yeah, Miracle Rogue was one of the best decks. Like that game had that deck had an in game. Zoo
Control
was another
Warrior.
big deck. Force
You
Roar,
could do the Freeze Mage versus Control Warrior that I guess went like the longest. I guess.
Control Warrior had an OTK built into it, right? Like it had Garrosh. Well, I say OTK. I'm my own copy pasta, where I'm one of the idiots in the Hearthstone community that says OTK, and like you've been chipping the opponent down for damage the entire time. But it had a burst combo that would end the game with Garrosh.
Yeah, and it was a lot more proactive in general. It ran like Bloodhoof Brave or the not Bloodhoof Brave, Cairn Bloodhoof. Stuff like that. Didn't even have taunt. Right. Yeah, like that's right. And so like it would just play these big minions to stick around and like you said, get that chip damage. Like it was called Wallet Warrior for a reason, right? Like, and then Freeze Mage. I mean, yeah, it was a slow deck, but like it also ended the game, didn't it?
Because they were frozen.
Sure did.
I'm ashamed of myself.
I appreciated that one, but yeah. Well, next up on the standard nerf list, and this was a fun deck, but we weren't seeing it in wild, so I don't think we'll focus too much on this one either. Escape the Underfell, the Warlock quest. Old, play 5 temporary cards. Quest reward, Underfell Rift, costs 3 mana. Now you must play 6 temporary cards, so upped it by 1. And the quest reward, Underfell Rift, costs 5 mana. So they had buffed it previously because it wasn't seeing any play. And then it saw play, so they just undid the buff. At the very least for the payoff. It may have been 5 mana or 5 temporary cards before. Yeah, it was bad before. And so it's bad again.
Like 35% win rate or something like that. Like I remember like it was awful. So not sure if it broke some rules by getting 51% win rate. I don't know.
Same issue as I was saying, like too much healing. Like once the aggro deck, once the Warlock got their quest down, they were basically always like there was a 66% chance that they were going to print. Well, I don't know what are the odds. The odds were pretty good that you're going to get a 5/3 lifesteal rusher. I'm not a statistician at this late on a Friday. I'm sorry. But like, you know, you were getting it down. I got it down in the brawl. I had it in my hand to play on curve on turn 3 once. Like, and that was in the brawl without a lot of support for generating the temporary cards. I just high rolled like out of my mind off the Solarium.
Nice.
It was too fast.
No sketch artist
lifesteal.
hurt that a lot in the brawl.
Yes, and I still got it down on 3 before they got rid of it. So like this is another card they were just sick of. I think at the level it was at, it was fine for Wild, especially because we don't have a lot of temporary card generators. Long term, I still think it was fine for Wild. Like I don't know. It's like a slightly worse Sargeras because you have to run a bunch of suboptimal cards to even make it work. So like whatever.
I mean, let's be real and address the elephant in the room, right? We're seeing nerfs to essentially cards that were making decks that may have gotten new pieces, but like the old decks were still what were being played. And so just like we've done in every previous standard thing, we're just lowering the power level. And these are widespread nerfs. Like these should mean that like new things are going to be experimented with, right? Like that goal is, I think, going to happen. But like also the power level being low means that then these things had to be hit for anything to see play. Like,
yeah,
let's call a spade a spade. Like it's something we've called out before. I like this new set. Like it's fun. We have a lot of pieces that we're including in things in ours. But by and large, like they're having to do these kinds of widespread nerfs to kind of get things to get traction, and that's been a consistent issue.
You know, I think this expansion is going to be looked back on as a great expansion, and it like really high power. Or like people will look at it like oh man, that was such a high. I can't believe they printed these cards, and it took so long to figure out that you were supposed to play this and this. I think it might be a little bit different in standard because they have fewer cards to cook with.
Yeah,
but for us, this expansion is such a treat. And it's going to take a long time for it to kind of like get all cooked out. And people are going to be checking little nooks and crannies. And there's some good cards that like I forgot came out in this set that I'm like, whoa, we don't have a thing that like with like Muradin yet. Like we don't have a thing,
Dude, right?
We don't have a thing that plays this yet or this card. Like I've seen some enhancement shamans, they're not good. But like somebody's gonna make a nutty enhancement shaman that will sports like a 47% win rate, and it's gonna be like, hell yeah, I could take this to legend with enough games, and like people are gonna have a lot of fun with it. And so like I mean,
I'm playing Shreds of Time like whoa in Seedlock. Like I haven't been on the socials, but like I went on a crazy run. Like I was up into the 200s too. Like
yeah.
Well done. Well done. All right, what's next up in these nerfs, sheep?
But next up is Dive the Galaka Depths. Old play 5 Murlocs, new play 6 Murlocs. Dev comment, this quest has been especially prevalent in lower rank brackets, so we're scaling it back to shake things up. So Murloc Paladin was seeing a lot of play in lower ranks, and now they're cutting it down a bit. Quite a bit, because it's not just from 5 to 6 once, it's from 5 to 6 for every iteration of the +1/+1. Like
Raid the Dogs 2.0.
Absolutely, Raid the Dogs 2.0.
Exactly.
On point. Correct.
Thank you, Blue Train.
This is also an impact in Wild, believe it or not. This was a card that was seeing a lot of play at low MMR Wild, and there were a lot of Reddit posts constantly of like, "Oh my god, I am so sick of Murloc Paladin," and you'd have to like double check and like do a double take and be like, "Wait, was this a Wild post or what the
which Reddit
was this? Wait, did they get lost? Like, what's going on?" But no, like at low rank brackets, they freaking hated this card. So like, yeah, makes sense they nuked it.
I get it. I even mentioned myself that whenever I see a loaded screen of daily quests to do and my weekly quest at the beginning, since this card came out, like, what is it, like 4 months ago?
Yeah.
I would just jam the deck because it's easy, right? Like you play the green card over and over and minions get bigger, like over and over. That's all you do.
What?
Right? And so like And yeah, it's Hearthstone for dummies, and it's fine. I admit it. Like I would do it because it was easy, and you just complete quests. You can climb the standard ladder. I never played this in. I never seen it in Wild, but like, why wouldn't you? Like Tide Color get bigger. Oh, like it's
a rewarding feeling play pattern too. Like
sure
to win games, and then what is it? What's the 6/2?
Oh, the Tyrannosaur?
Tyrannosaur? Like,
something like that?
That is a sweet card with like the Death Rattle summon 3 other... like, it's super cool, right? Like, and then, yeah, it's so rewarding. And you can go long. So it's like an aggro, mid-range, and long game deck. Like, your minions keep getting... You could outlast Control Warrior with this thing. Because they ran out of crap.
You just kept scaling.
And your stuff kept scaling. So like
just keep scaling.
Prismatic scaling? All
right. So dude, yeah, I'm surprised it actually took this long. But it was something that, so it's seen at lower ranks, right? So it's something that a free-to-play player, if this is the legendary that they had, and they should have all had it because this was probably the best one that you could have had if you wanted to win games. This is all you needed. You play this one, right? And so I totally see why the lower ranks are swamped with it. Is good down there. I know it's not good up top, but it's good down there. Good card. Now it's I mean, it'll probably still work down there.
Probably. They're not interested in winning.
Moving on then to Sparkling File. Old 3 mana, new 4 mana. So still an arcane spell for Druid. Deal 2 damage. Your next card this turn costs that much less. You remember when Amir Giselle got hit? Sparkling File was what I was thinking was going to get hit if they were going to hit that
to get rid
deck.
of.
Yeah. But alas, I mean, we weren't really playing Elonius Druid in our format so much. So I don't think that we were really playing a whole lot of Sparkling File
play really. No,
at
not
all.
really.
So since we are a wild podcast, we are going to move on to one that I was playing at least whenever Corpsicle has gone from 2 to 3 mana. So still a frost card, still deals 3 damage, and spends 3 corpses to return this card to your hand at the end of your turn, but can no longer be run an Even Death Knight.
Saving you from yourself. Stop playing Even Death Knight, for God's sakes.
Another thing that I will no longer be running an Even Death Knight is Sanguine Infestation. I wasn't already Even Death Knight.
This nerf is gross,
I would typically do
I think.
triple Unholy. So from 4 mana to 5 mana, and still draws 2 cards, summons 2/0/2 leeches. But you can't play this on the same turn that you play the 6 mana one that summons 2 leeches and makes that was already nerfed too. Makes them so that they only suck 2 health out instead of it used to be 3. Was the previous one, but before it was nerfed. So
I think the bigger deal
play
was
those 2 in conjunction.
I think the bigger deal, honestly, is the fact that this isn't 4 means you can't do this, and then your opponent has to give you corpses and has to trade into the leeches in setup for your corpse explosion to clear the board. Like that's
right.
In Wild, that's what we were doing. We were doing like 1-drop into Mining Casualties, into Construct Quarter, into Sanguine Infestation, into Corpse Explosion. Like that's a pretty strong control-y series of events that's sort of hard for an aggro deck to kind of overcome, which is where I've been saying, like, there's probably a Reno DK that is very much playable in Wild. If you like beating up on aggro and you're like a tier 3 hipster enjoyer, like there's something for you there. And there's also a fair amount of disruption built into DK, kind of left unexplored except by a few lunatics. Hi. And Sanguine Infestation is definitely a kick to the nards for that kind of experimentation, because I think the best versions of DK in Wild are honestly probably some sort of control variant, and that control variant probably runs Corpse Explosion. So this one sucks, but what it is.
And I think that you honestly hit the nail on the head for Standard too, with the curve from Infestation into Explosion being the more problematic thing than what I was
Very
going down.
Right? Like you're trying to apply early pressure, and you're just like stonewalled at every take.
Well, another one that actually does hit our format as well is Sandbox Scoundrel. Used to be your next card this turn costs 3 less. Now your next card this turn costs 2 less. And that is, of course, consistent across the miniaturized variant, because it is a 5 mana 4/3 pirate miniaturized with aforementioned battle cry. So your next card now this turn costs 2 less. So then the 1 mana 1/1, also your next card this turn costs 2 less. Take it away, Schmoopy.
Yeah. Put the rogue players on a watch list just to make sure they're okay for a little while. This was their favorite toy, and Blizzard broke it. So they're not very happy right now. That's to say the very least. They're not mega happy right now about where things are at and how people are treating their favorite toys. Yeah, no, it's kind of sad, because this was a really cool card that was enabling a lot in the format. I personally wasn't always playing Hook Tusk Rogue, but I thought it was neat that it existed. So like that was a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this is just mostly sad more than anything.
What do you think, Hydra?
I didn't play a lot of Hook Tusk Rogue. This doesn't affect me in any way, but I do feel bad because I love Rogue, and I feel bad for anybody who is playing Hook Tusk Rogue, and I feel your pain, and I am sorry.
Condolences your way. Moving on then to Resuscitate. Used to be 5 mana, is now 6. Still Shadow Spell, Resurrect a 1, 2, and 3 cost minion. Give them Reborn. Standard was, obviously, this was seeing a lot of play. I don't ever recall seeing this in our format, though.
Unless you're trying to do it in... Yeah, I don't know. This is...
No, that was always misguided. You never wanted to do that.
It's too expensive to do it in our format. It doesn't make any sense.
That was never a good idea. I've seen some people try to build like aggro priest around this, and they were always terrible. No,
it makes no sense. It's too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one I'm excited for.
Yeah. The next one is Testing Dummy. Old Death Rattle, deal 8 damage randomly split among all enemies. Now, Death Rattle, deal 8 damage split among enemy minions. So no more face damage from Testing Dummy. It was and is a 6 mana 4/8 mech with taunt. I enjoyed Mech Warrior, but like if they're trying to get people to play new decks and not the old stuff, then that's how they kill one of the old decks.
Yep.
I'm totally okay with this. I'm more than okay with this. I don't always thumbs up a nerf, but this time I give 2.
Along those same lines then, Chemical Spell has gone from 5 mana to 6 mana. That's the change. It was and is a 6 mana epic warrior spell that reads summon the highest cost minion from your hand, then deal 5 damage to it. So now 6 mana. Everything else was the same consistently, and now 6 mana. I don't think we were doing the same kind of things that Standard was doing with our Control Warrior. Like we were going Reno, like I don't remember seeing Chemical Spill in very many of those lists. Maybe it wormed its way into a couple for like Ziliak's early shenanigans, but I think we were doing, better things.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of distraction in Wild when you're building Reno Warrior to necessarily go in on the Ceaseless Expanse combo. I'm increasingly of the opinion the combo's too awkward. The high roll is not worth it. Build didn't do something else. And the next like fun thing that you could do that we could borrow from Standard would be run Tortilla and rip a Chemical Spell. Like that would be fine against hyper aggro. Like
yeah.
Can you imagine Soul Barrage on a Tortilla? Yikes. That's not what you want to do to that thing. So like I think this is going to be sad there. The big place where it's going to be sad though are all of the Thaddeus Warrior enjoyers. All the people that are tutoring their Thaddeus and then want to play him on 5 and then want to go through and like play a bunch of Togwaggles or like play a bunch of Boom Bosses and or play a Mechathune combo. I didn't really care for that deck anyway. So like again, the combo nerds are like crying and mad and sad and vomiting, but like I don't know, I could care less.
I think you said it all. I could care a little bit, but Thaddeus is kind of like where I like this. R.I.P. It's all right. They'll give it back. It'll be okay.
They don't have to.
Well, pour one out for one of your Zerg friends, Hydra. because Ultralisk
That's
Cavern
fine. I hate this card.
was hit. Excellent. It used to be 3 mana. Now it's 4. It wasn't as a location with 3 durability. Deal 1 damage to all enemies. Death Rattle. Summon an 8/8 Ultralisk with Rush. I don't.
I'm totally cool with this.
This really impacts us at all in our format. And yeah, I'm not sad to see it go in standard.
I think it would actually be kind of cool in Wild. Like I would probably have fun playing it as like a funny combo that you can like sort of rip. But like no, it's not really a thing we do.
No.
No.
One that was a little bit more is the Rogue Weapon Metal Detector. It was and is a 3 mana 3/2 weapon. It used to read, after your hero attacks and kills a minion, get a coin. It now reads, Death Rattle, get a coin. So you only get 1 coin from the thing. But you also don't have to worry about like killing a minion with it to get the thing. So you can do face damage, stuff like that. I don't think that we run this at all anymore though. Like we were doing it for the coins whenever we did that in any of our shenanigans and limiting that to 1 coin. Like I'm not going to pay 3 mana to bank 1, but I'd pay 3 mana to bank 2, along with the weapon.
Right.
But
I think it's crap.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Well, okay. I think it's still a really good anti-aggro tool. I think it's still going to see play in Hostage Mage. I think it's probably still the reason why you run the Tourist. It's sad that you only get 1 coin. But, yeah, I don't know. You could also swing face and still get your coin, which is an upgrade from what we were doing before. So, like, don't be shocked if this does see play.
I will honestly be shocked if this sees play in our format. But I will say Schmoopy was right if I was then wrong. But since you're not getting the coin immediately, you only get the 1. It is so much worse. Mm-hmm. The next nerf is one to RC Rampage. That used to be 4 mana and now is 5 mana. That is now used to be and is now a hunter card, epic. Summon 6 1/1 hounds. Any that can't fit, give the others +1/+1. It just costs 1 more. I mean, I played this a lot in standard. Like it was a great first step on my free to play run to 11x. But as soon as I got enough dust, I pivoted to Zarimi Priest back then. So I haven't seen much of it. I've seen a little bit of RC Rampage in our format, but not much. It was
mostly a meme. Mostly.
Yeah.
It's a big rampage in standard. That's for sure. It's pretty ridiculous over there. So I get it. I totally get it.
Mm-hmm. So finally, to get the Nerf hammer is Battle Fiend. And this one is wild relevant as well. So used to be a 1/3, now is a 1/2. Still 1 mana, still a demon hunter minion, and still after your hero attacks, gain +1 attack. It just kind of got the what's the other 1 mana demon hunter card that got the similar nerf from 1/3 to 1/2 that scaled with your hero's attack. Its attack scaled with your attack on your turn.
Puppet.
Yeah.
Sock puppet.
Yeah. Sock puppet. That's the one. So like identical nerf to sock puppet. Shaved a health.
Yeah. Easier to kill, unfortunately. Great card.
Yeah, and 2 to 3 is a pretty big break point.
Yeah.
Like that's an impact.
It's pretty bad. So we'll see. Like, obviously you can still run it and see how it goes, but yeah, it gets traded into or killed off with other spells, things like that. Like, it's way worse, unfortunately. Good card, but way worse.
Yeah. So that does wrap up what the nerfs were. And of course, we like to conclude each of our nerf discussions with a friendly reminder that if you search your collection for refund, you will be able to see all of these cards. You don't have to look them up one by one. You can just search refund and to see what all dust you can get. That's what I do. I keep a little bit more gold in my collection, but I'm a dust speculator, so I just don't dust in general. And then whenever it comes nerf time, search and refund, and I disenchant everything but 2 playable golden copies, or however many playable one. Like if it's
highest
legendary.
rarity. Same thing, yeah.
Key distinction. I disenchanted both Fyrax.
Well, you've got a free one on the way still, so.
Apparently. No, not free. My 10,000 gold one. The one I purchased.
So you've got
a while ago.
an owed one on the way still. But yes. Yeah. We don't dust. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but we encourage you to wait for these balance patches to dust things in the last, at least the last year. You shouldn't have to wait, for Melkazar's imp to get dusted, to get nerfed. That took 9 years. Okay. You don't need to wait that long. But the things in the recent sets, they get balance changed pretty quickly. So it's not a bad idea to wait to dust those extra copies just in case. It happens pretty quickly. So if you have the patience, just hold off a little bit for a few balance packages.
My personal dust speculation strategy is that on rotation, that's when I disenchant my extras. Like I keep the playable highest rarity amount, but I disenchant my extras then. Not because I don't think that they're going to get hit for us, but like we receive balance adjustments much less frequently, and that's okay. Like the things that hit standard, it makes sense that typically changes more. All to say, approach your collection as you see fit. That's my personal dust speculation strategy. But what strategies reign supreme post nerfs? So we kind of touched on our Astral Druid in your week, but do you want to kind of go over this one a little bit now as well, that we're in the discussion topic proper, Schmoopiedady?
Yeah, sure. So, very complicated mulligan. Just find Astral Communion. Just a hard mulligan for it. It's the only card that matters. Just find Astral Communion. Find Astral Communion and you're good to go. Don't find Astral Communion, we're going to have some issues. Play your Astral Communion as soon as possible, and then start sending out big idiots. And it's just Brown Big Priest. And once you do the idiot thing, it's very hard for the opponent to come back and win the video game. So just, make sure you do that. And that's
what if
it's not crazy?
What if your hand is full of innervates and ramp? Do you still get rid of all that for the Astral Communion?
9 times out of 10, yeah, I think you do. Honestly, like it's so hard to say bye to it. I think that's the one thing that people say is the toughest thing about playing the deck. It's so tough to go in and say, "Oh man, I'm really going to be getting rid of this card. Oh man, I'm really getting rid of this card, but I like this card. I don't want to get rid of it." And like No, you really should. You really, because it's you're whatever you're gonna top deck is gonna be the nuts. Is the whole point behind it.
I mean, it's the, what is it? What was the card? Like that's the one card you needed in your. What's the stupid deck card that buffed your entire deck like +1/+1?
Oh, you mean Kel'Seth? Like go find Kel'Seth type thing?
Yeah. It's like it's like playing Kel'Seth. That's the one thing that you need. So you just mulligan absolutely everything away to get the thing because that has Astral Communion, which is hilarious because Astral Communion was a joke for a
meme forever. Is a meme
for a very long time. It's one of the oldest cards. It's been around like, what set did Astral Communion come out in?
Is it TCG? Is it?
I think it may be TGT. Yeah,
I think it's TGT. Like, dude, there's a bunch of like people look back and are like, man, TGT sucks, but like there's a lot of TGT that has since broken. Part of it's been because of buffs, right? Like, let's be fair, part of it's been because of buffs. But like, it doesn't shock me.
I remember I have been blown out by this card back in the day as a meme and being like, what? When it wasn't even good. But it's super cool to see that people can actually win games, that it's not even like a meme anymore. Like it's actually winning. Like it's actually winning. That's so cool.
Yeah, no, Ysera has enabled this deck for a little bit. Really, the broken new piece that it got is Wave Shaping. Wave Shaping is another piece for very little mana to go find not only your Astral Communion, but to send the other two big idiots that your Wave Shaping picked down to the bottom of your deck so that you can go use your aquatic form that you have in your hand to cast it before you Astral Communion so that you know what your top deck's going to be. Like just little things to just sort of make the list smoother. That's been decent. That is not the top deck, by the way. That just happens to be, whatever deck we have loaded first. I was like, yeah, I like playing this. It's good. I think it is good. Less disco is good for this deck. So if you like playing big idiots, try this out.
Yeah, buddy. Well, we've also got Burnlock. So this looks awful lot like we're discarding a lot of things, but we're not running Malchezaar's Imp, and we weren't before the nerf.
Before the nerf, we were thinking about cutting Malchezaar's Imp, yeah. Before the nerf.
So post nerf, obviously it's gone. So what was introduced in Malchezaar's Imp's place?
I am trying Flame Imp. I'm returning to Monkey and doing Flame Imp. It might be too much self-damage, but I'm liking the early tempo. This deck is basically, at its core, trying to do Sketch Artist to find Soul Barrage, Expired Merchant to copy Soul Barrages, pop your Expired Merchant somehow, discard the Soul Barrages with Chambers and Soul Fires, and like figure out whatever, like use every little bit of mana to get every little bit of damage that you can, get it into face, and then blow them out with a 20+ damage turn. It's like it is Zooey in construction and look. And the new cards that have been fun have been the Tachyon Barrage is much enjoyed extra reach. It's one of the few cards I would keep in the mulligan besides Sketch Artist. As long as I have Frenzy Felwinged with it. Some lists of this deck are running Devious Coyote. I have real reservations about running that card because it does cost 5 until a damage source hits the opponent's face, and so it does clash with Merchant Soul Barrage. We might have to do it anyway. It's like one of the things that consistently you look at the stats and like it's got kind of nutty stats. So maybe we have to do it anyway and just suck up the anti-synergy and just say, well, that's part and parts with playing Burnlock. I'm choosing not to run it, but that's just me.
And so the flex, if you were to jam it in, is probably Flame Imp, since that's the 29th and 30th card.
Time Hopper is like that Tachyon, the Twilight Time Hopper, the 2-mana 4/4 dragon that's adding shreds to the deck. That looks atrocious. Apparently, I kind of like it on 2, and it survives a Hellfire. But I understand people being like, well, no, like I could see it being one of the worst cards in the lists. The 1-drops are not incredible. Okay, we're still playing Leper Gnome, but it works for the deck because yes,
good card.
We are sometimes blowing up our own stuff and going face.
You smell like a leper gnome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
We've also got Mech Rogue. Oh, and I neglected to pull up the Ziliax combo. So what are those 2 Zilii in there? It is a 4-mana Ziliax.
It's Smorkiax. It's the deal damage to yourself for at the end of your turn, double your attack next turn. Cool. This list, it has 0 new cards in it. I'm currently playing it on EU. I have a very positive win rate with it. Again, last month I was, sort of, I'm not exploiting the bug, but like I happened to be climbing for the first time on my EU profile all the way to Legend. And despite having 10x or 9x, I had I think it was 10x. I had a crazy run. I had a crazy run that entered me at 43, playing Burnlock, the last deck. And so I'm sort of seeing what I have on a budget, on a shoestring that I can play in an 11x climb, where my opponents are obviously more difficult and my win rate goes down more. This is doing it for me. Before we started recording, I was like 7-1. Looks good. So like, I don't know, like aggro that goes tall, aggro that goes fast. We mostly want the Mimiron or we want the Ziliax, and as a consolation prize, we will take the Lab. Is it Lab Constructor or Lab Deconstructor? Constructor. And you just like get one of those things down early, and then slap a bunch of spark spots on it and go really tall with it and make a real big, funny, stupid mech. Maybe you get it Wind Fury. Maybe you make multiple Mimirons. It's really funny when you get to slap them the Lab Constructor. Yes, we have Mimirize. And like they have Reborns, and also they have Stealth and Divine Shield. And it's like, well, how are you going to kill this thing? And also I'm getting so much value from it. It plays as a very funny aggro deck where there's a lot of random generation. Mech Elemental Mage is another one that comes to mind as far as like funny deck, fun deck, budget deck, but also lots of random generation. Never, your pop off turns don't always feel the same. So this is cool, and this has been effective.
Yeah, buddy. Moving on then to Shredded Seedlock. This is one that I saw May playing the other day, and I can't remember who made it, but she was the one piloting it. And so, it plays, it's XL, it's Shreds of Time in Seedlock. It honestly feels a lot like Dark Glare did, because we're like doing things to discount doing things that make things cheaper. Like, we're getting the mana advantage that way. So, I mean, at like 4 mana, I feel like I'm, Curse Catacombs into like draw, which then discounts my giant. Or, oh, look, I drew the number of times I've been able to, on turn 2, not even with the coin. So turn 1, we're playing the Demon Seed. It's the quest. Right. Turn 2, Crystallizer, Spirit Bomb. Crystallizer deals 5 damage to your face. Spirit Bomb deals 4. And then you can play a free mana 4/4 because you've dealt 9 damage to your face. And like that kind of mini, like it's setting up a kind of like giant E turn, but earlier.
Mini giant.
Yeah, mini giant. Like, so we've got kind of like a mid-game 2-hour, essentially, Dark Glare. And the entire thing like whenever I was screenshotting this for my own personal records, the Demon Seed is like super far down the list because we run so many 1-drops. Like the only things that are not 1 or 2 drops are Prince Renathal, Hellfire, what was it called? The Doom Speaker, the 3-mana 3/3, which is discards a card from both of your and your opponent's hands, and it's rewind. So it's basically like a kind of more aggressive, like, yeah. And it's kind of a dirty rat. It's kind of a dirty rat that then you don't have to contend with the thing that you've ratted out, right? So it's disruption. And then the 9-mana 4/4 that I can't remember the name of, and our Flesh Giants and our Molten Giants. So like none of those things we're paying much mana for at all. So it's really a low curve. So you can just draw and draw and draw, discount things, but by drawing, by damaging yourself. But then you also play the Demon Seed. So you've got the like giant aspect to it, and the Demon Seed also expedites the discount of the Flesh Giants, right? So you've got that kind of more Dark Glare feel, but then at the end of it, if you need to, you can still play Tamsin and do the normal seed lock thing too, right? Against control, that's how you win. Do not complete your quest before, or in a mana way, in such that you can't play it on the same turn against control, because dirty rats exist, right? Hand disruption exists in many forms. So that kind of a thing is a factor. So there's kind of that little bit of kind of skill, but you feel skilled when you're playing it because you play lots of cards to draw lots of cards to damage yourself, to discount things, to like, it feels rewarding.
I like Miracle Rogue.
Yeah. And you get to play lots of cards because they're cheap, and so it has kind of like a Miracle Rogue feel in that way too. Yeah.
Woo!
So I've been having a blast piloting this one. I went up to about like 200-ish, like 230 something. Then I played some Embiggen Druid, and then I've climbed back up into like the 400s again. But like, I'm just having fun. Like, when you're having fun playing Hearthstone, then like that's where it's at.
100%.
Note that I did not highlight an Embiggen Druid here because it did not go well. So I thought that it might. I thought that it might be able to get under, but maybe I'll try it again post nerf because I didn't play Embiggen Druid last night. Moving on then to the final deck that we are highlighting this evening, which is XL Dungar Druid. I kind of end up calling this Malagos Druid just because, but I know that the preferred nomenclature is Dungar Druid. People won't know what I'm talking about if I say Mali Druid. So take it away, Schmoopie.
Yeah, no, this is one of the contenders for best deck in the format now that Disco has kind of died down. I mean, Disco was a rough matchup for this deck. And if there's less aggro, not that it can't handle aggro, but it's just much better. I know that one of the few decks that this struggles with is another deck that some people might even be calling the best in the format, which is Nazmani Priest, right? So like these two are basically fighting it out for 1 and 2, and I'm pretty sure Nazmani's like a little bit faster. So watch KVLT just get like rank 1 after rank 1 with something like this. New card that it got is Wave Shaping. This is the perfect kind of deck that can use wave shaping and really leverage it. And then if it needs to go get the pieces, because we still have Aquatic Form, we have Moonlit Guidance. We can touch every card if we really need to. I think my favorite part about this deck, and I'm positive I've said this before on the podcast when I was trying it out for the first time, it looks really linear on paper. It looks like drop Dungar and go win. But it's so much more complicated than that, and there's so many lines that you can do, refreshing mana or cheating out this minion, or what if you lose this minion. It's actually pretty like stable into disruption. The last Dungar game I played on stream, my Dungar was dirty ratted, and I had to do like a Nightshade Bud solar pop off, and I eventually found lethal that way. Like just those lines where you go and you explore it and you go find it are just so much fun. So definitely try this if you haven't before. Give it a shot. Shameless plug. I do talk with KVLT about how to try to pilot it, and the idea behind the card choices. So like I did a guide on it, but then the gameplay session was so hard to find usable footage because I just kept biffing it. Like there's one moment where I'm like, all right, I pick Ysayle. He's like, you pick Aviana this turn. Pick Aviana. I'm like, okay, I will pick Aviana. And then I ripped the bud and I picked Ysayle. Like I was trying to wait for input on the combo turns, and it was too hard to do that. And I was, it's a complete disaster. So if you want to go check that out, that's fun. That's a place where you could go and find out how to play this deck. But this deck is very good. This deck is very fun, and this is one of probably the better decks in the format right now as things stand. Early on.
Cool.
And I know I said that was the last deck, but for whatever reason, whenever I imported the folder, it didn't bring the final deck, which is Nazmani Priest.
You mean the deck that is terrorizing the format?
Yes, I do.
But not
Schmoopie,
evenly.
please evangelize Nazmani Priest so that we can perhaps disseminate and change that throughout the meta.
Yeah, and like the joke is like anybody who learns this deck, and it's not a very expensive deck, anybody who learns this deck immediately never stays in the dumpster. They always just shoot up the ladder. Despite it being an APM deck, really intensive APM is, in my mind, perfectly like playable. I know Filterphobe gets mad because on an Australian ping, you can probably manage about like 26 light speeds.
Oh gosh.
But like that's an Australian ping on like a normal ping. Like it's really like the really simple combo. Once you get the pieces, get a couple of Nazmani down, get the Stone Tusk Boar down, rip a couple light speeds. You don't even have to necessarily go for the charge in one combo. Sometimes you just make a board of Nazmanis and you throw a bunch of light speeds on them, and then you just rush into like 4 things, and your opponent can't kill you, and you're showing a buttload of power, and you can kind of do whatever you want. So I know at Top Legend, a lot of players are now saying that like this is basically it's crazy that they would go for basically what are considered fields-based nerfs. Disco was good in limiting of aggro in the format, but like in my mind, didn't necessarily require a nerf. It's a good thing it was nerfed, but it wasn't like a 5-alarm fire nerf. I guess that's a better way to put it. It wasn't like a whole desperate nerf. Holy Wrath. Yeah. I'm glad it's gone. I'm not a 5-alarm fire. Horrible play experience. Not gonna defend it. Wasn't atrocious.
It kind of seemed like those had been carefully considered for a long time. And this was just kind of the patch that we got them. Is kind of how it felt like, right?
Right.
Like it didn't seem like a gut reaction nerf.
No.
Which Nazmani Priest has, at the very least in my zeitgeist, really kind of just been increasing in the past like couple of weeks. Like I've seen it played a little bit before, but the actual being a force in the meta, outside of niche play is really only increasing lately.
That's weird to me. Like I'm not up there in Top Legend looking at this. I've played this deck like for fun, and it does win, and you can like it's cool. Like I like it, but I've never once been terrorized by this deck, but I'm not in, your top 100 legend being like stomped by this with someone who's apparently animation cheating, or maybe not.
No,
doesn't even require it. Doesn't even really require
that was
it.
my question. That was my question because
they sped up the animation, right? Like
because they sped up the animation and they stacked it to where it doesn't happen one after the other. So both of those together meant that it did not require
just mega
animation cheating for it to happen. Yeah. So that was my question whenever I ran into it, and it's like it felt like it was just too fast, and it wasn't.
No. Yeah. They made the animation basically functionally instantaneous, and so like it's a problem. They should either like make it less functional, or which isn't going to work because then people are going to find a way around it and they're going to animation cheat it, right? So like that doesn't work. So you could either make it more functional, less functional, or I don't know what you do with this, but this deck is the bait writes itself basically, where I get to say this is the best deck in the format, and it didn't get nerfed because really it didn't.
Yeah. Well, and if you were approaching game design and you were wanting to nerf this deck, how would you approach it then?
The two funny solutions. One impact standard, so they'll never do it.
Okay.
But there's two funny solutions you can do. The first funny solution you can do is you can make Nazmani cost, and this is going to sound funny, you're going to make a Nazmani cost 4. You might say, well, Schmoopy, you're not really doing much. You're just nudging it up a mana. And like I know, we've just been talking about how, well, 1 mana makes all the difference, right? And like,
but,
yes, that's
Animate Dead.
Like?
That's a very key. It's a very key breakpoint for Animate Dead, though, right? Like
it's a huge breakpoint for Animate Dead. So Animate Dead is all of a sudden no longer bringing you back a Nazmani, and so now you've got to change how you do the deck. Like it really gums up the works. The other more obvious thing that we should do is just give Lightspeed Echo restrictions. Like it's not hard. Why? Oh, why do we continue to have, cards that are printed like this that don't have the Echo restrictions on them? I don't know.
Snip snap. Woo.
Right, but like we haven't learned yet? ? Apparently not. No, we haven't learned yet. So
to the uninitiated, please elaborate on the Echo restriction.
You can repeat the card,
Define.
but it can't cost less than 1. Or yes. Yeah, you can repeat the card, but it can't cost less than 1. There's only a few in the format that you could possibly do that with. Some of them do facilitate, infinite combos, but they're hard to pull off.
Makes sense. So if we were to give the Echo effect to this, it would not be able to cost 0, wouldn't be able to apply all of those to it. Broken deck.
Yeah, at least, you'd have to use Lightspeed very differently. In Wild, you'd have to disenchant it. Aside from that, I don't, it's not, aside from that, it's like, that's the one thing. It's like, once you kill Lightspeed, you basically kill any reason why Lightspeed should have ever existed ever, which from a Wild perspective, Lightspeed is borderline, Lightspeed is borderline just sort of negligent game design from a Wild perspective, but they don't do things from a Wild perspective, so that's kind of a dumb take to have.
Yeah, because it's not an issue whatsoever in Standard.
No, the opposite. It's like Hearthstone. It's like why on God's green earth would they ever design Hearthstone? Hearthstone is a stupid card in the context of our format, but they're not designing for our format, guys, and don't right? Like,
exactly.
People need to just wise up to that reality. We are not the target audience, and that's okay. But you do have to realize what's actually happening.
I've been playing with Hearthstone lately.
Yeah, Hearthstone's a dumb card. That's another card that's like, wow. Let me heal for 20
That's
minutes.
another card that holding it. Oh, play. Or, oh no, I'm not going to need that for a while. Like, I'm going to trade that. Like, it's one of those that you feel really clever.
Yeah.
Make Painlock
But it's
risky
just
again,
broken.
Please.
But it's just broken.
Unrelated Advice with Electric Sheep City.
I know that guy.
Electric Sheep City.
Hi.
As you know, there are other worlds than these. And if you had a choice to not live in this current world that we are in, you could pick, okay?
Okay.
From, as I stated, other worlds than these. It could be in a movie. It could be in a book. It could be in a video game. But you had to choose where you were going to live out the rest of your days, eternity, whatever it is. But where would it be? From what, medium, or like, and why? Where is this world? Where did it come from? And why are you going there to spend the rest of your days or eternity there?
So, if I could jump into any of these alternate realities,
Yes.
I would go into the reality of The Sims 3.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. There are very many exciting realities. I just kind of want to hang out at home. Right? So what I'm going to do, and the reason why I chose The Sims 3 is my wife knows the code off the top of her head for the infinite money cheat for that, right?
Oh.
Ergo,
Dino
infinite
Project
money,
cheat.
and then we can build the biggest house and hang out with our kid. I can podcast with y'all. Functionally, nothing will be changed.
Wiser words have never been spoken. And you heard that on?
Born to be wild.
I mean, essentially, right?
That was a far out question. That was a far out question. That was impressive.
And I think that I probably took it in a much different direction than you thought.
You took it more literal, like, I'm just going to do the exact same thing as I am now. I'm just going to be a rich bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.